What is up, BookTube? It is Monty, and today I'm here with another Friday Reads. Again, we're going on faith, trust, and some pixie dust to make sure that I'm in focus. I'm going to recap the things that I finished this past week. Actually, not to have any fingers crossed, because I managed to slam through a lot of the things that I told you guys I was going to read last week, and some additional content. So, I read Obsidian this past week, which is up over on the Hotties channel. I'll leave a link to that in the cards. It was in the description last week. But if you somehow missed it, you can go watch me talk about Obsidian. I finished The Great Pretender by Susanna Callahan. That was a nonfiction about psychology and this man who was, I think, the world's greatest scam artist, low-key. But all about him. I'll talk about that at the end of the month. Then I said I wanted to read Check Please Volume 2, Sticks and Scones, which I got to, and I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads because even though I was kind of confused about where we were starting off the novel, at the end of the day, I really did enjoy it. So, like I said, 5 out of 5 stars from me. Then the next thing I wanted to get to last week was The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. Again, I also gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I talked about it in my Black Books by Black Authors book haul. I'll leave a link to that up in the cards as well. I enjoyed it. Again, poetry is not my jam. It is not my shtick. It's not my thing, so I don't really know how to judge it, so I didn't rate it on Goodreads, but I did enjoy the story. I am sad that our main character does not have locks on the cover, because he has locks for a good portion of the book, I would argue. So there's that. Again, it was a cute story, coming of age, coming out, acceptance, love, family, you love to see it, all of that. During my sprints on Wednesday, I picked up, I think it was Wednesday. Was it? It might have been a Tuesday. During my sprints, I'll leave a link to those in the cards. When I finished The Black Flamingo, I started Stay Gold by Toby McSmith. This is a story of a transgender man who comes, I'm gonna say like a trans man in like high school, so he's like 16, 17 years old, it's senior year, he's moved schools, he's living in Texas, and he falls for a cheerleader, and it's their story. So it's a male-female romance, and it was kind of everything I like in a contemporary novel. I will say at the end, the third act of the book is something pretty traumatic happens. There is a moment of violence that is depicted on the page against our protagonist. And I've seen a lot of people say that it kind of ruined the book for them, or that it was very triggering, and I 100% agree that if that is something that is going to cause you harm, then just know that going in that there is a moment of that happens. But while that happens, there are immediate consequences. It's not something that's just glossed over. And at the end of the day, Toby McSmith is a trans author. I'm not going to try and police how a trans author wants to tell the story of a trans person. I'm just not going to do that. And I really enjoyed the story. The main character's name is also Pony, which I've never read The Outsiders, but I understand that it's like kind of a darker story that people read in high school sometimes. So I think that because of that illusion, like I think you are just going in, you might know that something bad is going to happen. But it does have a happy ending, I would say. And I think that it's probably one of my favorite romances of the year. And both our main character, Pony, and his love interest, Georgia, were fun and great to read about. So yeah, I do recommend this one, but do go in knowing that there is a violent moment. So with all of what I've read out of the way, I have just one book for sure solidly on my Friday Reads, and that is Anna K by Jenny Lee. Now, I started this a couple days ago. I've been tweeting out my Goodreads updates, as one does. I do not think this is a young adult novel. I think that this definitely falls in that weird new adult territory where one, the writing style just reminds me more of literary fiction than anything I'm reading like commercial young adult fiction, especially commercial contemporary, which I think this was trying to be marketed as. I don't hate it. There is a lot of questionable content in this one, which I'll talk about in my review. But I am eating this up so far of all of like the Gossip Girl-esque things, which I think I'm going to do maybe also in September after I've read the Gossip Girl books. I want to talk about the Gossip Girl-esque books that I've read recently and kind of, I don't want to say compare them, but like offer some insight on them, because I've kind of co-opted Gossip Girl as my brand, which like, is that a smart move? Only time will tell. But so far I am enjoying Anna K. I do not think this is for everybody, and I do think that if you're an actual young adult reader, so the actual market, like 12 to 18 or whatever, If you're on the younger side, go in knowing that there is a lot of more adult content in this than I think in your normal regular young adult book. Nothing graphic or anything has happened so far, but definitely I think on the older end of the spectrum. So with that out of the way, that's all the books that Anna K is the only book that I have for sure on my TBR. I'm filming this on Thursday night. It is currently, what is it? It is 11:18 as I film this, so we're barely on Thursday. I have decided to participate in Becca's 48-hour bookopoly, if I can speak properly. And so on my Twitter, I have a poll running to see what my first readathon is going to be. Right now, option number 2 is winning. I think it's option number 2. And I'm probably gonna wind up vlogging this just because of the book that book is. So I'll leave a link to that tweet down below in the description in case you're watching this but you don't follow me on Twitter and you want to vote on that. They are emojis, so everything is kind of a secret, but I think I chose emojis that are fairly obvious. So that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again on Monday for some reading sprints. I will leave a link to that up in the cards as well, so you can set a reminder. They'll be at noon Pacific time. But on Wednesday, I will have my book club announcement video go up. So I'll tell you the first book that we'll be reading in the month of August. So 2 videos for sure next week, the sprints and the announcement. But until then, and until next time, bye.